Flyin Ryan Foundation was founded several years ago upon the death of my son Ryan Hawks, who was an extreme skier, died in competition. And so we discovered three months after he died his 14 Principles for Living, a document he'd crafted for himself roughly 3 years before he died. And that became the focus of our mission, to carry those good, sound, solid, common sense ideas to as many people as we could in order to help them to lead more fruitful, joyful lives.
Tonight and every day, I want everything, 'cause I want everything, oh.
And we were growing our family through something we called centers of influence, just to help our family grow a little faster. And one of those centers of influence was South Burlington High School, which is where Ryan went to school. John Painter, who's the advisor to the student council, said, that would be good for us. Let's see if the student council will buy into it. They did, and they became a center of influence, and out of that came the Decisions Program, where we moved over from principles to decisions as being the defining hallmark of really doing some good and making a difference.
So my name is John Painter. I've been teaching here at South Burlington High School since 1999, and it seemed to me like the high school would be a great place for a center of influence. That was some of the lingo that the foundation had started with. And so I brought it to the student council in the fall.
One of our teachers, Hannah Dransfield, incredible professional, you know, she did a project. And the project in her class was inspired by a faculty meeting we had where we showed the core principles video and said, hey, this would be a great thing to try to incorporate into your classroom. Well, she ran with that.
I thought it was a beautiful film, and I was inspired by Ryan's principles, and I sort of scrapped my plans for the day and went into class and showed the kids, the students in class, the film, and then we set about writing our own core principles.
And she had an incredible project for her students. So incredible that we were like, okay, we have to try to scale this. We have to try to make this go beyond just the students who are lucky enough to have her as a teacher. And that's where we started talking about our sophomore exhibition program. And the sophomore exhibition program had existed as a portfolio of academic work. You know, the gaping hole in the sophomore exhibition was the non-academic element of a student's life and experience.
It's very rare that we ask students to think about components in their life that are important to them outside of academia.
Where many of our kids struggle are the decisions that they make, and having some sort of inner core values.
You know, I think that the kind of old school autocratic way to encourage students to make good decisions is that we make a bunch of rules and we say, hey, the good decisions are to follow the rules. And it's a pretty limited conversation when it starts with the rules and just the expectation that students follow them.
That was, I think, one of the hardest things, is to get students away from, oh, this is another assignment I have to do, to really just thinking about this is actually something that, you know, throughout your life you'll continue to look back on.
Hey, look, this is really all about what's important to you. You know, this isn't about you solving some equation or trying to memorize some dates. You know, it's about what's most important to you, and then I want you to tell me about it. How can that not be something you'd want to do?
Well, I came up with 13 core principles, and they were have fun, never waste time complaining.
Treat others how you would like to be treated.
Teamwork is important. Exercise my creative mind.
Explore yourself and the world.
Work hard, play hard.
Be the best sister, daughter, or friend I can.
Never forget where you come from.
Never say goodbye to someone without reminding them how much you love them.
Always be open to try new things.
Spend time with the people you love.
Enjoy the little things.
Don't be afraid of a challenge.
Know your strengths and weaknesses.
Being kind to others.
Notice all the details in life, but keep in mind the big picture. Never lose my childish qualities.
The only competition you have is yourself.
Dance through life.
Be self-sufficient.
Stand up for what you believe in, even if others put you down for it.
Do what makes you happy.
Make an impression. Staying physically and mentally fit.
Relax often.
Give 100% always.
Take care of our planet.
Just live in the moment, because you only have one chance in life.
And you only live once, right?
And those are all things I find important and I try to live my life by.
So what are we really trying to do here? We're trying to make the world a better place. One person, one event, one decision, one core value, one day at a time. Kids who are armed with the skills of knowing who they are, what their principles are, how to apply them in terms of decision making, are apt to lead fuller, more successful adult lives in terms of joy, accomplishment, and not getting distracted by some of the forces that are divisive in today's society.
There have been times since I've created this where I've, I've put the core principles to use. Like over February break, I went on a community service trip to Uganda for 2 weeks. And so I was doing a lot of stuff, like helping others was one of mine. I did a lot of that. I did a lot of time, respecting other people and the environment.
It's completely appropriate developmentally that students have this reflection come from themselves and pushing it out and up and to parents and to coaches and the sky's the limit.
And I've seen it change lives. I've seen some students here who've struggled, who haven't had a lot of guidance at home for a variety of reasons, and take advantage of the program that's available to them, and soar and find their passions and find some direction.
I think that when people see the power of it for kids, I don't know how they couldn't buy into it. Because there are just so few opportunities in a traditional public high school setting to ask students to be intentional about really digging deep and looking in the mirror and figuring out what's important to them. So I don't know how you could not feel like that was a good thing to do with students. Yeah.
We've been just blown away by what's happened at South Burlington High School. And it's opened up our eyes to opportunities that we never even conceived 2 years ago when we started the foundation, to extend the impact of Ryan's life by exposing, inspiring, teaching his 14 core principles. We've moved beyond that now with the Decisions Program. Now we're asking people to craft their own principles, which is far more meaningful than just adopting the principles of somebody else. What we're asking you to do is to fold this program into your existing curriculum in some fashion, with the object of producing a student body that has a positive impact on the culture and climate of your school over a period of time. This thing grows with time and gains momentum. And so the impact I think that we can have on lives to make the world a better place, and people acting in a more respectful way toward the environment, toward themselves, toward each other, is being well served by the Decisions Program, and we're ready to hit the ground running.